Fellas, I hope you're not hungry, because if you are, then you may want to eat a little snack or something before you watch this video, because you may get hungry. You may. I don't know. We'll find out. What's good, YouTube? I'm the BowTie Fragrance Guy. On this channel, we talk about fragrances primarily, of course. Listen, fragrances are very, very important, very special to me, man. You can put something on, spray it 5 to 10 seconds, 10 of you are savage, and it can just totally upgrade how you feel, your personal level of marketability. So I love talking about fragrances, but I think that it is important to discuss with gentlemen as well the importance of your grooming and style. So that's what we kind of cover off on this channel. If you're into that, make sure you hit subscribe, man. Don't forget to enable notifications. Hit that little bell icon in the corner as well, so anytime a new video is uploaded on the channel, you get notified. On today, guys, I want to be jumping in and talking about some gourmand fragrances. Gourmand fragrances, one of my favorite genres of fragrances, honestly. Gourmands for me aren't as practical. I mean, I don't wear them as much as I would wear like a fougere, just because I'm working in an office environment. It's not something, they aren't fragrances that I would reach for as much going into an office type setting. But just going out and about, especially this time of year when it's cold outside or cooler temperatures, I love throwing these things on. They just are, for me, represent some of the best scent profiles as far as just overall how a fragrance smells to me. Really, really smell good. Love the genre. I want to talk about some mouth-watering gourmand fragrances that I have in my collection. So if you want to see what's on this list, and I'm sure you guys do, you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get into it. Yes, sir.
The BowTie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. We're going to jump into this video. Guys, before I do that, I want to remind you, if you have not seen my video where I made the huge announcement, your boy has a new fragrance coming out, and it's going to be released in perfect timing. When I tell you guys more about this scent profile and, you get a little bit more of an indicator of the timing of this release and the whole nine, it's been done perfectly. It's going to be it should be everybody's signature fall and winter scent this year. I will say it that way. And I'm thinking about it because some of the notes, I will say this, that are in my fragrance, you're going to hear some of those notes today in some of these fragrances. I'll just give you that bit right now, but be on the lookout for that. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about this a lot more as we progress here over the next few weeks, but keep that in mind. Go ahead and set your ducats aside, man, to make sure that you pick this one up, because you will not want to be without this fragrance in your collection. But the first fragrance that I want to talk about, we talk about a beautiful gourmand. I had to reach for this fragrance here because honestly, it is one of my favorites in the entire collection. From the brand Narcotica, this is called Love Me Latte. Love Me Latte. Pear, fig, cherry, coffee, sandalwood, and tonka bean. Wow, guys. Again, amazing fragrance. This brand does such an amazing job. I think they only have like 7 or 8 fragrances in their portfolio. And honestly, I think they just released a new one. Can't think of the name right now off the top of my head, but they did release a new fragrance here relatively recently. I hope to get my nose on that. But back to this one, again, cherry, fig, pear. I mean, that's all I really need to say. Really sweet, delectable fragrance with the creaminess of sandalwood. I think when you are going to make a fragrance like this, as a gourmand, a lot of times you're going to see sandalwood and you're going to see tonka bean as two of the main notes listed in a lot of these fragrances, because fragrances that have sandalwood are kind of creamy. Tonka bean, obviously, kind of sweet. Almost in some instances as well, a little bit powderiness with that sweetness. But anyway, this is just, again, perfect if you love gourmand fragrances. The coffee here gives the fragrance some character. And honestly, it's not overly sweet, although I've listed, obviously, the main notes as being so many sweet, fruity, and, sweeter chords. It's not overly sweet. It's just a perfect It's the perfect amount of sweetness where I think all gentlemen will still feel really comfortable wearing a fragrance like this. But if you're looking for an amazing gourmand, this one should be one on your radar. And again, we're talking about the brand Narcotica. This one is called Love Me Latte. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list, honestly, this may be the sweetest fragrance in my entire collection. And we're going back to the same house of Narcotica. This is Dolce Diablo. Man, this thing is fantastic if you love gourmands. Apricot, cacao, honey, sugar cane, and here they are again, tonka bean and sandalwood. That's kind of a resounding theme here. Like I said, a lot of these fragrances have those two notes in the note breakdown. Again, now this is very sweet. A very, very sweet, but it is very dense and delectable fragrance at the same time. I will tell you, the time that I have worn this, I have gotten compliments wearing this fragrance. It is really hard, seemingly, for people, a lot of people, not to notice this fragrance when you wear it. And again, I will say this, guys, if you don't like really, really sweet fragrances, this one is not going to be for you. But for those of you that really have a sweet tooth, I say it is a must try. It smells great. It's really sweet. Like I said, there's a really sexy way. There's a sexy kind of seductive thing about it as well, with that super, kind of fruity sweetness that this fragrance actually represents. But it's really, really good, man. Like I said, when I won this fragrance, I've gotten noticed. I've gotten some compliments on it. So for whatever that is worth, it has been a fragrance that hasn't been too sweet, at least on my skin, where people found it to be a turnoff, obviously. So again, so for whatever that's worth, this is a really good one. Another thing about fragrances from this brand, they are Extrait de Parfum concentrations. So you really do get that performance aspect. It kind of says it there at the bottom of the bottle. Extrait de Parfum concentration, everything from Narcotica. This is a really good gourmand, man. Check out Dolce Diablo. You have to have a sweet tooth for this one. All right, for this next one, I'm going with an OG, man. From the brand of Bond No. 9, we're talking about New Haarlem. And this is an OG bottle that I have here, about halfway. This is lavender, coffee, vanilla, tonka bean, and amber. And again, this smells like pancakes and syrup. That's actually what I had for breakfast this morning. So if you smell your hand after you've been eating pancakes, if you've got a little syrup on your hands, that's kind of what this is. Buttery, smooth. Again, pancakes, a little bit of that, maple syrup. That's exactly what this thing smells like. But again, the lavender serves as kind of a neutralizer here. So it's not like where you would be, like I said, feel like you're wearing something that is, unwearable to be a fragrance, because it's so fruity and gourmand from that standpoint. It smells like pancakes. The lavender does give it a little bit of that masculine quality to it. Kind of cleans up the DNA a little bit, so it's not so, sweet. But this is an amazing fragrance. I am going to get a bottle of the newer batches of this stuff just to kind of compare, but I love this one. I was fortunate to get this bottle. A gentleman was selling some fragrances on Facebook. He was letting this go. I was so surprised. I got it for like $100. So I was blown away at the price I got it for, because at the time it was still discontinued. But anyway, I love it. It's from the brand Bond No. 9. This is New Haarlem. Definitely a gourmand and definitely a very sexy date night fragrance all at the same time. This particular fragrance comes from the House of Oud, and this is called Dates Delight. Dates Delight, man, dates, caramel, cinnamon, tonka, and honey. Man, this is really good. This kind of, in a way, it starts to fall into a similar scent profile as like the Wajans of the world. It kind of has a similar scent profile, although here they use dates. So it's like this dried fruits and honey and tonka bean. Just, again, phenomenal fragrance. And the touch of honey here is what really gives this fragrance that really nice date night kind of sex appeal, in my humble opinion. So definitely another one to check out if you love gourmands and have a sweet tooth. Check this one out. This is Dates Delight. All right, kind of speaking about that apple pie DNA, I had to put this fragrance on the list. I love it, from Kilian, Angel Share. Angel Share, this is almost gone. Yeah, man, I've knocked it out. Cognac, tonka bean, cinnamon, praline, and then you have that oak wood, or the smell, the woody scent character that gives it that aged in, oak barrels kind of smell in the fragrance. The oak wood gives it that smell. But this one has another one. Fits into a similar category. The Wajans of the world, all those kind of fragrances. All those fragrances have a very kind of similar scent profile. Ambre Narguilé, I think, was probably the originator of this scent profile, or one of the first fragrances to really be very popular and represent that apple pie kind of scent profile. So could have used that, could have used Wajan, but I chose to go with this one, and I love it. I love the booziness that you get from the cognac in this as well. But I still would kind of classify it as a gourmand because it smells like, it kind of has that apple pie smell. But this is Kilian's Angel Share. You know about this fragrance, but it's really good. Honestly, scent profile wise, this may be my favorite one of the gourmands. And I have an OG bottle as well. It has the velvet on it. This is from Xerjoff, the Casa Morati line, Italica. This is Italica. This is almond milk, toffee, vanilla, and sandalwood. Wow, man. I really can't describe to you guys how good this thing smells, honestly. This is just like next level when you talk about how good it smells. Again, very, very creamy, milky, sweet fragrance. That's really just the way to describe it. It is like super creamy and sweet. Absolutely love this stuff. I was absolutely blown away when I first put my nose on this fragrance. Now, they stopped making fragrances that have the velvet kind of material on it because I think some of them bottles were leaking a little bit and they were starting to, the kind of velvet material was coming off of the bottles and stuff like that. But I have, like I said, one of the OGs. My bottle looks fine, no leakage, and I probably got about 33% or so of this left. I would estimate it could be a little bit more. I'm actually hoping it is. But again, if you're looking for a beautiful gourmand, look no further than Italica from Xerjoff, one of the best on the market. The next fragrance comes from the Christian Dior, La Collection Privé Collection, Fève Délicieuse. Fève Délicieuse. Good stuff right here, man. Lavender, cherry, tonka bean, cacao, caramel, sandalwood, praline, just about every note that you can think of. When you think about gourmands, it seemed like they took them all, put them into a fragrance and say, let's see how this works. And it worked out tremendously. Again, I talked about the notes already, and I've talked about this fragrance so much on the channel. Again, it's sad that it has been discontinued, but I have given you guys a great alternative to this fragrance that you can actually pick up that smells very, very similar to Fève Délicieuse. Hopefully they bring it back one day, but if they don't, then either you just kind of have to find this and pay an arm and a leg for it, or get, of course, the clone for it. But anyway, amazing fragrance. Fève Délicieuse de la Collection Privé Collection from Christian Dior is phenomenal. You talk about like notes again like caramel, cacao, cherry, and tonka bean. Sign me up any day of the week. I absolutely love this stuff. Sexy, 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 sweet gourmand fragrance right here from Dior. This is Fève Délicieuse. All right, guys. Now the next fragrance that I want to talk about comes from the brand of Roja Parfums, Lost in Paris. I think this came out maybe a year or so ago. Really beautiful fragrance. Mandarin orange, like a sugar accord, butter, caramel. Again, it's like this French pastry called crepe. I think I may be pronouncing that correctly. And the way that it's made, you actually pour some orange juice on it, and this, it's almost like a pancake almost in a way. But anyway, it's an amazing. If you read about it, just to kind of write up on it and what they were going for, I think they captured that perfectly in this bottle. In a beautiful, sexy kind of French pastry kind of smell. It smells phenomenal. Again, we're talking about gourmands. This is one I had to add to the list. I picked it up some point in time last year. I actually paid full retail for this because I could not find it discounted. Maybe if I waited, I could have, but it is what it is. I really wanted it in my collection. Of course, you guys know I'm a huge fan of the brand of Roja Dove, and I'm a huge fan of gourmand. So one together equals two. I have it in my collection and I love it. Check out Lost in Paris from Roja Parfums. Amazing stuff. All right, guys, this next fragrance is from a brand called Milano Fragrance, and this was called Panettone, which is another dessert, and they knocked it out of the park. Bitter orange rum, immortelle. There's this wheat accord in here as well. And again, a panettone, another type of dessert. And a lot of these fragrances that are made in lieu of a dessert, obviously you're going to find them on a list that we're talking about. Beautiful, mouth-watering, delectable gourmand scents. This stuff is absolutely delicious. If you ever had a panettone and know what it smells like, then they completely knock this particular fragrance out of the park. So check it out. It's from the brand of Milano fragrance. This is called Panettone, and that's exactly what it smells like. All right, guys, and last but not least, I had to put this on the list. This is from the brand of Armani, Giorgio Armani, the Privé collection. You know what's coming, Ambre Eccentrico. Unfortunately discontinued, man, but I love this stuff. Ambre Eccentrico, cinnamon, tonka bean, amber, patchouli, and dried fruits. The dried fruits, oh my gosh, is up like almost smells like plum in this fragrance. So just imagine that, guys. This is so good. Definitely has those beautiful warm spices of like cinnamon primarily that you get here in this fragrance. This stuff is just absolutely phenomenal. And I said before, this fragrance smells like bread pudding, raisin bread pudding, I'm sorry. So, the dried fruit and plum kind of gives you the smell that is reminiscent almost of raisins, especially when you combine that kind of cinnamon spice into this fragrance. Just an amazing fragrance, man. A bread pudding, you have bread, you have raisins, you have kind of this custard mix that kind of goes into it as well. Sugar, butter, and that's exactly, again, they kind of captured the essence, in my opinion. Although it hasn't said that this was made to smell like raisin bread pudding, that's exactly what this smells like, and it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal, and it actually, being as sweet as it is, has this air of sophistication about it as well, that you could kind of wear this one. Of all the ones I talked about on the list, I would be more comfortable wearing this one in a work environment, because it does have this sexy spiciness to it as well. That's very, very, again, kind of put together and masculine. I love it. Again, it's from the brand of Armani, the Privé collection. This is Ambre Eccentrico. But that is it, guys. That is my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today. I gave you 10 mouth-watering gourmand fragrances that are great to wear in the cold weather. What do you guys think about the list, and what are some other gourmand fragrances out there that you think would be good to go on a list like this? I would sincerely love to hear from you guys down in the comments section. And as always, I sincerely appreciate you guys' time and your attention to these videos. You don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. And don't forget to take a few moments to like, comment, and subscribe. Please make sure you're sharing these out to some other folks that you think could use the information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darian. I'm the BowTie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell fantastic. So until next time, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.